Welcome to this episode of Dining at Disney on the Rocky Mountain Mouse, where today we're going to review Yak and Yeti over at Animal Kingdom in Asia. We ate, we conquered, and we scored it, and we're ready to share our results with you. Hello, I'm Ray, and joined with me at the table today are the other contributors from Rocky Mountain Mouse, Jody, Jeff, and our junior contributors, Emma, Aubrey, and Bethany.
Hi.
So today we're going to be reviewing the Yak and Yeti over in Asia in Animal Kingdom. This is a restaurant we've been to before. I don't think it really officially landed on our Crap Fest list. Because it doesn't generally get low ratings. I think we just wanted to eat there. I know it was one of Jody's favorite restaurants on property, so we went ahead and ate there. So Jody, why don't you go ahead and lead us out with Disney's description of this restaurant?
Great. Travelers can relax and replenish with a Pan-Asian feast in this beautiful Nepalese-style restaurant.
So let's jump right into the scores. Let's start with the food presentation. Yak and Yeti got an 8 from the group. So thoughts on the food presentation?
When it got there, it looked great.
We'll get to that later. Jeff keeps giving us sneak peek nuggets everywhere we go.
That's right. It did take a really long time to get the food, but...
Yeah. So let's talk about what everybody had. Jody, what did you have?
I had the miso salmon.
Okay, salmon. Salmon.
I know, I just couldn't stop. But this was my very favorite of the entire trip.
Oh, okay. And it was presented well? I don't know that I ever saw it.
It came with brown rice or jasmine rice, and then the salmon and vegetable dumpling.
Okay. All right, and I had the Korean meatballs, which was on their specialty and limited time only. And they're presented well. They were just meatballs on udon noodles. And so I thought it was pretty impressive. Jeff, what did you have?
That's what I had.
Oh, you had the Korean meatballs as well. Emma?
I had the teriyaki chicken. It was really good.
I had the sweet and sour chicken, which was, the sweet and sour chicken by itself was okay, but the vegetables on the side, they weren't my favorite, but they were.
And Bethany?
Macaroni and rice.
Yeah, macaroni, cheese, and rice.
Could be that the food looked really good because it's pretty dark in there.
Everything looks better in the dark. Moving on to the food quality and our entrees. So I'll go ahead and lead off with the meatballs that I had, and Jeff can talk about them as well. They were on udon noodles. They were Korean style. Now, I did speak to somebody who has lived in Korea, and when I said I had Korean meatballs, they just laughed at me. Because they said they don't have meatballs in Korea. So, after feeling sheepish, I just assumed that what it was is that they were Korean flavored meatballs, and they were delicious. I felt like the sauce was bold. It had some heat to it. I enjoyed it. What I didn't enjoy were the udon noodles. They were super rubbery. So, Jeff, what was your experience with the meatballs?
I'm going to say that it was identical, really. I love the meatballs. I had a really nice heat to it. But those noodles were like... the texture was really off-putting.
Yeah.
Not just rubbery, but just a gooshiness that is not desirable in a noodle. Can I use that word, gooshy?
Yep, gooshy.
What does that mean, gooshy? Okay, squishy. Whatever it is, that was not a desirable texture.
Yeah, I imagined that when I was eating them, I thought this is probably how it would feel to be eating earthworms.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's a good
wow, that would not be good.
Yeah, that's why my plate was left with a bunch of udon noodles. So. But not enough to offset the wonderful flavor of the meatballs.
No, those were awesome. I
still
like the dish, but I can agree with the noodles.
And if I remember correctly, there was that sauce had caramelized a little bit on the outside of the meatball, and then you got into it, and it was nice and juicy. So
it was awesome.
I really, really enjoyed it. Excellent. Jody, talk about your salmon, your favorite of the trip.
Miso salmon.
It had the miso sauce on it, which was fantastic. And the rice, I remember having like mango flavoring and ginger in it. And I remember it had bok choy on the side or mixed in somehow. And I've never been able to mix in bok choy with food and liked it, and they did it fantastically. All around, like it's my favorite salmon anywhere I think that I've ever had.
Anywhere?
Awesome.
Anywhere. Yep. So I really enjoyed it.
Nice. And so I'm going to assume that this is still your favorite restaurant on property.
Yes, but Tony's is like this close away.
Gotcha.
So, Jody, can I just ask you, was this the same thing you had the first time we went to Yak and Yeti?
I don't remember. I just remember liking it, and then going back when I saw the menu, I'm like, what would I have ordered? Because they have duck, they have mac and cheese, they have curry, chicken, and I just did the salmon, and it was so good. So good.
Yeah, she really did like the salmon.
All right. Emma, why don't you talk to us about your teriyaki chicken?
It was actually really good. The chicken was flavored very nicely. The vegetables were okay. They were just kind of, I don't know. They had some of that teriyaki chicken sauce on it, and so it tasted fairly well. And then I think I had rice, and it complemented the chicken very well.
The thing I really liked about your teriyaki chicken is that it was heavy on the pineapple flavor. And so that really, really came through. And I remember the chicken being very tender. So it was a good dish. Aubrey, you had the sweet and sour.
Yeah, I did. The sweet and sour chicken was good. It's not as good as the teriyaki chicken, which I regret that I didn't get that. Was some of them had like pieces of fat in it, and I didn't care for that. But with like these vegetables, I tried to give them to Bethany, and she wouldn't eat them. So, and I didn't like them either, but it's okay. They still tasted good.
Aubrey, you don't like eating straight up pieces of fat?
Oh, just sorry.
Just kidding.
You're not Samoan. All right, and Bethany decided to go American, and she ordered mac and cheese and rice
That's right.
and mixed them. So how was that?
Good. I'm pretty sure it came with apples too. So.
Oh.
She didn't get her fruit in. Being able to mix the macaroni and the rice proves that she's Samoan.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's great. All right, so we gave it an overall score for the quality and flavor of the entree. Before we leave entrees again, I forgot to talk about the appetizer before we talk about the entree. But I remember this appetizer being particularly good. And it was, I ordered the wok fried beans. And passed those around the table. Does anybody remember eating those?
Yes.
That was the only time I've enjoyed eating vegetables.
Yeah.
Ever?
Yeah, ever.
Wow.
Yeah, I when they came back around to our table, I stuck them in the center, and the girls went crazy. It was awesome. So if you have people that don't like to eat vegetables, take them to the Yak and Yeti and order them the wok fried beans. They're really good.
And it came with a sauce, and I remember thinking
Yeah, it was like
you
a
can eat
chili
it
sauce.
with or
Chili
without.
dip,
It
yeah.
tasted great either way.
Those were a big thumbs up, those appetizers, yeah.
All right, moving on to the desserts. We gave that a score of 7. So we're kind of all over the board on this. You see the scores are split from 3 to 10. What did everybody have for dessert?
I had the pineapple upside down cake.
Winner, chicken dinner on the pineapple upside down cake.
Good. Oh.
So
Good.
we tried the pineapple upside down cake that was in the Magic Kingdom, which I really liked because you had that kind of warm, donut-y sweetness with the tart of the Dole Whip. This one was a little more, I don't know if this is the right way to say it, but it was a little more caramely, a little more sweet.
Pineapple chunks.
Yeah, that was a really, really good dessert.
And it was ice cream on the top.
Yeah, that was,
So yummy.
it looked great, it tasted great, that's a total winner.
Yep.
So you put that above the Dole Whip? Upside down cake?
Yes. Yes, you would.
I'm like saying even.
Now.
Jody would. I'd say even because I think I had 3 of those pineapple upside down cakes at the Magic Kingdom. So I don't know if I'm a good judge of that, but it was very competitive to a point where I don't know. And
I feel the same way because I actually tried this one first. I tried yours first, or somebody else may have ordered it, but I tried that, and it's very buttery and caramely, and I love that. I'm a caramel sucker.
caramel sucker.
I'm a sugar daddy, is that what I'm saying?
I sense an image coming up on your screen.
So I really liked it, and then my thought was this is probably going to spoil the Dole Whip pineapple upside down cake, but I feel like they're almost 2 different beasts.
I agree.
Because the pineapple one, the Dole Whip one is cold,
Yeah.
And so you don't get any of the gooiness, but you got Dole Whip on top of it.
I think it was in the right place though, because if the one was in Yak and Yeti were available in the parks on a hot day, you'd probably pass. But if you were served the Dole Whip one in Yak and Yeti, you'd be like, it's a little out of place. So they're both really competitive. I think they're both amazing.
Yeah, the Yak and Yeti one is definitely richer. I don't know if I can eat a whole, whole cake.
I could, but I'd be so sick.
So I guess that means I had 4 total pineapple upside down cakes on this trip. I had some of this one, and then I had 3 Magic Kingdom.
Girls, what did you guys have for dessert?
I had the pineapple upside down.
It was yours that I probably tried.
Yeah, I remember.
I had a chocolate cake with raspberry filling. It's actually, it was okay.
How did it taste with the Sprite that you spilled all over it?
You know what? I tried to avoid it as best I can, but that Sprite soaked into every single piece, and I'm just like,
So it was chocolate cake with a lemon lime accent.
That's really sad, but it's okay.
I had mango pie, and mistakenly thought that by doing this I was following one of AJ's recommendations, because AJ was spot on with the upside down cake we've been talking about in the Magic Kingdom, and it was okay. It was only later that I found out she actually recommends the quick service version of the same, and I would say that mango pie it's good, but it's pretty forgettable too. Interestingly enough, truly, when we went to later, we did go to the quick service Yak and Yeti, and I got one of the little mango pies, and it was better and very memorable. So the regular mango pie from that restaurant, I'd probably pass. I would just do the quick service. It is pineapple upside down cake all the way. Did you get a dessert, Ray?
I did. I got the fried wontons, and that was what I got last time we went to this restaurant, and I remember them being very good. This time they weren't so hot. The glaze that they put over the top, which I think is pineapple based, was watery. It tasted watery, so I don't know what happened. Maybe it sat under a steamer or something and got water on top. But I didn't like them as much. And then I really liked the pineapple upside down cake.
So were you the 3 on here? I'm dying to know who the 3 is.
Let's see.
I'm so biased with this restaurant because it was like throwing confetti everywhere. It's so good.
It was me. I gave it the 3.
The Rocky Mountain.
But I backed that up. But they were not good.
Here, what you had doesn't sound like it was very good.
I will own it with no hesitation. All right, so we're moving on to the overall, which we scored at an 8. Again, nobody actually gave it an 8, but we sat on either side of it. So, any thoughts on the overall experience with the food?
It's just an interesting score set because I thought everything I had. The appetizer was good. The Korean meatballs were good. Jody's salmon was really pretty good. So it's an interesting split. And Jody's dessert was really among the prize desserts at the park, I thought, this time. So interesting.
All right, moving on to ambience, atmosphere, and theming. We gave it an 8. Let's talk about this.
I think the dimming of the lights was good for it because it wasn't supposed to be something that was entirely happy, I guess, if you consider that. Because, I mean, they did a good job theming just the restaurant, and it looked accurate to what their title was and everything.
They had some cool artifacts on shelves and stuff like that, so it was pretty good theming to me. But
I feel like Animal Kingdom's done a really good job of making each area kind of feel like that area, so African, Asian, stuff like that. I felt like this kind of played into that. On the outside, it looked nice but had the architecture that I would expect. On the inside, it seemed really gold and like it seemed ornate to me. At this point of our trip, though, I wasn't really noticing that as I was wanting to eat because it was late and I was hungry. So I didn't pay great attention.
Which is odd because you had plenty of time to do that.
I know, it's true.
Anyway, back to you, Jeff.
To me, look, I mean, the theming I think is good. I mean, I think it's legit. I think it's on par. It feels like the way I think it was intended to.
I liked it. I liked it the first time we went, which wasn't as dark. I think we were just sat in the darker corner of the restaurant. And there's a lot to look at when you're going through that restaurant. And so I feel like they did a really good job at the theming. For those of you that may not have been this or haven't gone yet, this is a large restaurant. It is, I think last time we sat upstairs, there's elevators, it's a very, very big restaurant. And they do a really good job at segregating each portion so that you don't feel like you're in this mammoth restaurant.
Yeah.
So I think I think they did an impressive job with the theming, and you do feel like you're in Nepal or Asia or wherever they expect you to be. So, all right, so we gave it an 8. Let's move on to the service at a 5. A 5 and split all the way from 1 to 9. And I will tell you right now, I will look it up, but I bet you I am that one.
I'm actually more curious as to who was the 9.
Yeah, that's true too.
Because we can all do an impersonation of our time there. It's something like this.
Unless you're Jeff and he's like, seriously, like, really? Really?
So mine is the 1. The 9 belongs to Jody.
You know why? I'll tell you why. I'm biased towards this restaurant. So I was like, hey, it's okay. It's not like the waitress can control when the food comes out. It just comes out right. But it took a really long time. I should have scored it lower.
Jody was just glad to have some more uninterrupted time with me.
Yeah.
A lot of uninterrupted.
We all had uninterrupted time with you, Jeff.
In the dark, where everything looks better.
I gave it a 1, primarily because there was a marked difference between how our server treated our table and how she treated your table.
Oh, really?
And I think, and I hate to say this, but I think it's because we had kids at our table. And she was extremely disinterested in anything that we wanted or did, and it was just slap things down and walk away. And I heard her interacting with you guys, and so I definitely got the impression that she was fishing for a tip.
Really?
And felt like perhaps she wouldn't get one from our side of the table. I don't know what the case may be, but there was a difference, and so I was upset by that. Then the time it took for that food to get to our table was unacceptable. Unacceptable on any restaurant standards. And you can't tell me it's because the restaurant is busy, because every restaurant at Disney World is busy. And we've never had to wait that long. I would even say at Brown Derby when you were upset years ago, the wait wasn't as long as it was at Yak Yeti.
You know, essentially the only time it could compare was when we were stuck at the 50s diner the first time forever.
Oh, that's right.
And it was, I thought it was all a big part of the joke, but, you know, so.
They were busy undercooking the chicken.
Yeah. Yeah, how do we fix this? Microwave and send it up.
So anyway, I was pretty, that was a hard thing for me to get over. And it was something that happened to us the last time we were there, where we sat at our table for that meal took us a long time, and I thought 2 times in a row.
Do you think it's dining plan related?
I don't know. It makes you wonder. Sometimes you go to the restaurants and you wonder, are they doing this because we're paying with dining credits and they feel like they're getting ripped off? I don't know what the case may be.
I do have to say though, like I remember having our drink report full, so it really wasn't amazing service at all.
You know, you're right. It's not the server's fault if the plates arrive late, but the server should be at the table, attending the table and saying, I'm so sorry, the food is taking so long. Let me get you some drinks. Let me get you some more bread, or whatever the case may be.
True.
But she was just gone until the food was ready and just seemed disinterested. So.
Yeah.
So that's my 1. So fight me on it.
I think it's a good reason.
All right. A 5 for service. Thank you, me. And then the last thing is the value for the dining service credit. Looks like everybody would recommend that it's a good use of your dining credit. Except for Jeff.
I know, he's thinking now.
Well, okay, so why was I mad at Brown Derby?
Because it took so long.
Yeah, and it was costing us fast passes.
Yep.
And they got mad at me because I wanted to use my fast pass. And I'm like, you know, why are we here? We had Toy Story Mania. So I think when I think the value of dining service credit, just food alone and that experience, I think it definitely merits these numbers. I think if you go and you sit there too long, though, and it costs you something, it could reduce the value.
Yeah. And when we were there that night at the park, we were towards the end
and we were ready to sit for a while, and so that's a bit of a different story. But
we did miss out on a fast pass. We had fast passes to Rivers of Light, and we got out there too late to go see the show.
Food-wise, though, I mean, I think it merits the kinds of 8s and 9s. I think that service, though, was rough. That was a rough patch.
It's true. And had my food not been so good, I wouldn't have liked it as much. The restaurant, but
yeah, and so you see where good food will make up for a lot of things. So it makes up for poor service, it makes up for timing, it makes up for a lot of things, as long as the food tastes really good.
yeah.
That happened at Tony's, too, right? We
Yeah.
went in irritable, came out feeling really good about things, so there's something to be said for that.
Fireworks going off in our hearts.
Yep.
All right, so going into the overall score for Yak and Yeti, food overall gets a 35%, or gets 35% of the score. The dining point value and the entree at 15%. Desserts, service, and ambiance come in at 10% weight, and food presentation at 5%. So Jeff, what's our overall score from the Rocky Mountain Mouse?
7.4.
7.4. So that's barely 4 stars, but it gets 4 stars. Everybody agree with that?
I think it's a 4-star shop.
Okay. Any final thoughts on Yak and Yeti before we close this out?
For all of the waiting and all of the pain, there's something to be said for when they do hit the note right, even if it's just for 1 or 2 members of your party. And for Jody, again, like when you were at Coral Reef, you ordered straight up and down the line. Jody was money the whole way through,
It was so good.
and it was neat to see the impact that had on that day. So that was good.
The other thing that Yak and Yeti has going for it as a final thought is that there aren't any really other competing restaurants in Animal Kingdom yet.
Yeah.
You got Tusker House, and we won't go into that. But
Yeah, how did we do Crab Fest without Tusker?
that's true. It was probably that bad.
Can't go back there.
Anyway.
And maybe one other thing, we should probably touch on this. The family did do the quick service of Yak and Yeti. Our family did the last day when we were there for half day, and I would give that quick service a thumbs up. So if you can't get into this, you'll miss out on some important things. But that quick service was really pretty.
And I hear they have really good orange chicken. Did you guys get that?
Yeah, someone had orange chicken. I had Korean barbecue ribs. They were very good. The mango pie is good. So thumbs up.
Excellent. All right. Thanks for joining us today on a review of Yak and Yeti. We will have our next episode, which will be a review on Nine Dragons Restaurant in Epcot. Until then, have a great day.